Welcome back. We had some technical difficulties, but hopefully they are resolved now. So we had just finished looking at the sentences. We fail or sin when we succeed when we score a goal or hit a target. We fail or sin when we do not, as the word sin means to miss the mark, and as means since or because. We sin when we miss the mark because the word sin means literally to miss the mark. We cannot navigate without something to aim at, and while we are in this world, we must always navigate. Navigate means to find our way. And while we are in this world, in the body, we must be able to find our way. I'm going to switch my color again. We are always and simultaneously at point A, which is less desirable than it could be. Moving toward point B, which we deem better in accordance with our explicit and implicit values. We always encounter the world in a state of insufficiency and seek its correction. We can imagine new ways that things could be set right and improved, even if we have everything we thought we needed. Even when satisfied, temporarily, we remain curious. We live within a framework that defines the present as eternally lacking and the future as eternally better. If we did not see things this way, we would not act at all. We wouldn't even be able to see, because to see we must focus. And to focus we must pick one thing above all else on which to focus. Let us start at the beginning of this paragraph. We are always and simultaneously at point A, moving toward point B. When you read in English, hold on. When you read in English, if something is in parentheses, hold on, like this, it's a good idea to cut it out and read the sentence without it to get the main sentence. Then put it in afterwards. So, we are always simultaneously at point A, moving toward point B. So, always means eternally. At every moment of our life, we are at point A, moving toward point B. Simultaneously refers to being at point A while in the process of moving to point B. So the act of being at point A and the act of moving towards something, those two happen at the same time, always. So they are simultaneous, and we are always in this simultaneous state of being at point A and moving toward point B. So always and simultaneously mean two different things. We are at point A and moving toward point B. Now, we are at point A, which is less desirable than it could be. So point A is defined as being insufficient or lacking in some way. Moving toward point B, which we deem better. So we say, point B will be better. I will feel better in 10 minutes when I'm eating supper than I do now, because now I am hungry. In 10 minutes I will be eating. That will be better. I deem, meaning I judge, that 10 minutes from now will be better because I will be eating and I will no longer be hungry, for example. So we deem better in accordance with our explicit and implicit values. So my explicit value is not to be hungry. Implicitly, I believe it is better to be full than hungry. So we define point A and point B. Point A is insufficient. We are moving toward a correction. Point B is the correction of point A. We always encounter the world in a state of insufficiency and seek its correction. We encounter, meaning experience the world in the present, as point A, insufficient in some way. And we seek, meaning we move toward point B, which is the correction. We can imagine new ways that things could be set right and improved, even if we have everything we thought we needed. So, let us begin after the even if. Even if refers to a condition that is present at the time of the first part of the sentence. The condition is we have everything we think we need. I have everything. But I can imagine something even better. I could have something more. Even though I have everything I need, I could be richer or happier or more beautiful or more popular or more secure, whatever. We can imagine a way for point B to be better than where we are now, even if our state of being is fine and we have no actual needs. Okay, we can imagine new ways that things could be set right. Set right means corrected. Set right means something is wrong. Not just, okay, could be improved, but flat out wrong and you're going to fix it. Set right means fix. And improved. Improved suggests that the thing was fine, but it can be even better. Okay, so we can imagine new ways that things could be set right, corrected, and improved, even if we have everything that we thought we needed. Even when satisfied temporarily, we remain curious. Satisfied. So I'm not hungry, but I'm still interested in what is on that buffet table. Maybe there's something extra delicious. We remain curious about what new things there might be, even if we have all we need. We live within a framework that defines the present as eternally lacking and the future as eternally better. So we live here, meaning this is the permanent, eternal state of human nature, within a framework that defines the present, point A now, as eternally lacking, always insufficient, and the future as eternally better, always containing a fix for the present. If we did not see things this way, we would not act at all. If we did not see things this way, meaning if we did not experience the world in this paradigm of now isn't as good as it could be, something I can do will make it better. If we didn't see that, we would never act. Because why should you do anything if it will not make your life better? We wouldn't even be able to see literally. This see is figurative. Again, he is making a bit of a pun on the word see. We wouldn't even be able to see literally, because to see, we must focus. And to focus, we must pick one thing above all else on which to focus. So, he is making a comparison. This business of picking one thing to focus on, to me, seems a bit of a distant example of present is eternally lacking, future as the eternal fix. But he's gone into a pun on vision. So now he's speaking literally. To be able to see, you must focus on something. You must choose. But we can see. Oops. But we can see. We can even see things that aren't there. We can envision new ways that things could be better. We can construct new hypothetical worlds where problems we weren't even aware of can now show themselves and be addressed. The advantages of this are obvious. We can change the world so that the intolerable state of the present can be rectified in the future. The disadvantage to all this foresight and creativity is chronic unease and discomfort. Because we always contrast what is with what could be. We have to aim at what could be, but we can aim too high or too low, or too chaotically. So we fail and live in disappointment, even when we appear to others to be living well. How can we benefit from our imaginativeness, our ability to improve the future, without continually denigrating our current, insufficiently successful, and worthless lives? Let's go back. Okay, we're going to transition. So remember, our transition is this C thing. Let me fix this. How do I get that back? Okay, I think I'll... Okay, we're transitioning with the literal see, vision. So we can see. And then he's moving on to figurative again. We can even see things that aren't there. Imagination. We can envision. That means imagine and see in our imagination. We can envision new ways that things could be better. We can construct new hypothetical worlds where problems we weren't even aware of can now show themselves and be addressed. Okay, so we're sitting here, we are happy, all of our needs are met. In the previous paragraph, he said, we can basically imagine ways that we could be better even though our needs are met. He's taking this one step further. He's saying, sitting here, our needs are met, we can imagine whole worlds, whole new worlds, where problems, point A, that we weren't even aware of. Okay, so we are imagining new problems that have never existed, problems we weren't even aware of, can now show themselves. These problems, which don't exist, can be revealed to us and be addressed. We can fix them. The advantages of this are obvious. So this is great that we have this imagination. And so these are the advantages. This colon means what follows is a list of advantages. And this is the advantage. We can change the world so that the intolerable state of the present, point A, which is insufficient and bad, can be rectified in the future, fixed. So we can imagine new things. This enables us to change the world and make big problems like global warming or like slavery or like poverty be rectified in the future. The disadvantage. So we have the advantage is that we can effect positive change. The disadvantage is chronic unease and discomfort. The disadvantage to our fertile imagination that can imagine lots of ways that the world could be better is that we sit in a present that is bad. And we are uneasy and uncomfortable. That is the disadvantage of imagination. So the disadvantage to all this foresight and creativity. In other words, the imagination he is describing as foresight, being able to see into the future, and creativity, being able to imagine creative solutions to make the world better. The disadvantage is that we are uneasy and uncomfortable because we always contrast what is with what could be. What is with what could be. We contrast the present, what is, which is bad, with what could be, the future, which is better. We are always making that contrast. And so we are always uneasy and uncomfortable. We have to aim at what could be. We have to set goals and try to fix the problems of the present. But, remember, but indicates something different, a problem is coming. But we can aim too high, period, or too low, period, or too chaotically, period. He could use commas there and make it all one sentence. We could aim too high, too low, or chronically, chaotically. He chose periods to give more sense of finality. We could aim too high and become communists, totalitarians, try to make everybody in the world submit to us. Or we could aim too low and not do anything. Or too chaotically, meaning we try one thing, we try another, we don't have any plan. There are many ways to err. The word is, some people call it err. That means to make a mistake. I pronounce it err. Many ways to err. That means many ways to be wrong. So we fail and live in disappointment. Live means all the time. That's our nature. Consistently. Even when we appear to others to be living well. Remember we said even gives you a condition that applies back here. So the condition is we appear to be doing well, but we are failing and living in disappointment. So this is the construction. The even gives a situation that seems to contradict the former part of the sentence. We fail and live in disappointment even when we appear to others to be living well. How can we benefit from our imaginativeness? Notice you can add suffixes in English and turn a word like imagination into a noun like imaginativeness. Listen to my pronunciation. How can we benefit from our imaginativeness? Our ability to improve the future. Okay, in this case, our ability to improve the future is giving more information to this imaginativeness. We are imaginative in that we can imagine how to improve the future. How can we benefit from our imaginativeness, our ability to improve the future, without continually denigrating our current, insufficiently successful, and worthless lives? Now remember, earlier in former lessons, we talked about how the internal critic is always telling us that we are failures. The internal critic is always denigrating us. It's always telling me that I am no good because I am not Mozart. I am not Picasso. I am not Betty Crocker, the best cook for women. I'm not as beautiful as Sophia Loren, so I am worthless. So in this paragraph, he pointed out that the downside of the advantage of imagination is that we can change the world. The disadvantage is that we denigrate ourselves. We think that the present is crap and that we are living in crap. So the question now is, how can we benefit from our imaginativeness without denigrating our current situation? So that's the question. And I suspect in the next paragraph he will begin to answer it. But we are out of time. So we will end here. And next week we will pick it up, probably with the answer to that question. I'll see you then.